government layoffs, an exodus from New York, a weak jobs report, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Senate Democrats voted again Wednesday morning to block a stopgap funding bill. The third time in 2 weeks they voted against the measure as federal agencies braced for widespread layoffs. Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought held a call with House Republicans on Wednesday to discuss how the shutdown will affect the U.S. government. He told lawmakers that reductions in force, or RIFs, meaning worker layoffs, were imminent and likely a day or two out. Vought described the layoffs as decisions that will be made by agency heads based on what roles are appropriate under current spending levels and under the Trump administration's budget priorities. His new guidance comes after the OMB issued a memo earlier this month directing agencies to consider plans for layoffs should the government shut down. The Supreme Court rejected President Trump's attempt to immediately remove Federal Reserve Board member Lisa Cook. Cook, who the Trump administration alleges has committed mortgage fraud, will stay on the board until the court hears oral arguments in January. New York City's suburban housing markets are reportedly seeing a surge in demand as the mayoral race heads towards the November 4th election, with Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani leading in the polls. Mamdani's housing platform, which includes a rent freeze and higher taxes on top earners, reportedly has some New Yorkers turning to the suburbs. Zach and Heather Harrison, real estate agents in the affluent Westchester County, said calls from Manhattan residents spiked after Mamdani's Democratic primary win in June, according to Realtor.com. We are absolutely seeing a correlation between Zohran Mamdani's surprise win in the Democratic primary and an uptick in real estate interest in Westchester, the Harrisons told Realtor.com. Since the summer, nearly every buyer from the city we have taken out to see homes in Westchester has mentioned the mayoral election as one of the drivers for shopping in the suburbs. Oktoberfest, the famous Munich festival, was briefly closed Wednesday due to a bomb threat in connection with a nearby explosion. After a residential building in the north of the city was set on fire, local police said they discovered an explosive device in a backpack near the property, in the possession of a man police said was behind the bomb threat. Special forces were called in to defuse the device, and the suspect reportedly died by suicide. Elon Musk on Wednesday became the first person in history with a net worth of $500 billion. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO's fortune crossed the $500 billion mark around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, putting him about $150 billion ahead of Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, the world's second richest person, according to Forbes. Musk's wealth has skyrocketed from $24.6 billion in March 2020 to a series of milestones: $100 billion by late 2020, $200 billion by 2021, and $400 billion in 2024, before reaching $500 billion this week. Walmart announced that the company will remove synthetic dyes and other artificial ingredients from all its store-brand foods. The ban will cover over 30 ingredients and signals the influence of Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. and his Make America Healthy Again movement. The U.S. lost 32,000 private sector jobs in September, according to new data from the payroll processor ADP. While some economists had been expecting an increase of up to 45,000 this month's fall, comes after a revised loss of 3,000 jobs in August. The ADP report may be the only jobs data we receive until the government shutdown is resolved. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.